Welcome back, everybody. We're getting into week 10 of the college football season. We got our first playoff rankings that came out on yesterday, Tuesday. Right now, this is our first week in a long time that we've got every SEC team is playing this weekend. Starting off with a noon game, we got Ole Miss at home taking on Texas A&M. I'm taking Ole Miss in this game, especially with them being at home. I think they're going to continue to ride out this last little stretch of their season. This is a Texas A&M team that looks shaky a lot at times. Given that South Carolina gave them that win last week with that second quarter, just barrage of 21 straight points. Outside of that, they only scored, I think it was 3 points in the third and 6 points in the fourth quarter. So offensively, Texas A&M is very shaky. I think Ole Miss will continue to ride as they have been kind of offensively all year, and think Lane Kiffin will use this as another stepping stone to get right before you got to make that trip to Georgia the following week. What y'all think?
Man, so let's not forget, Jimbo Fisher is still coaching for his job. Okay, this man just getting to a bowl game is not going to be good enough. Okay, it's not going to be good enough. They are ready to let him go right now. Now, I say all that to say, A&M is going to put up a fight. It's not going to be enough. Okay, Jimbo ends up 5-4, 3-3 in the SEC after this game. Ole Miss wins. They win big, late. I'm talking about 21 points, 21-point victory. Ole Miss, A&M, they do fight early, but this is just a precursor to Jimbo, his exit. I hate to say it, but he about to be gone. And this game is going to be another game to help put the stamp on the fact that he's about to leave town. So I got Ole Miss by 21.
I'm right there with both of you. I think this right here is going to be very, very interesting. Look at your point, Sean, about Jimbo Fisher still coaching. They've actually started a GoFundMe to get him the hell up out of there. So the noise has already started about Jimbo Fisher getting gone out of Texas A&M, and I think it's not going to be any better after this week. I got Ole Miss winning this one big. I think it's going to be a blowout from the beginning. So I don't even think it's really going to be a contest, just because I think this Lane Kiffin's going to have his team prepared for the future. And I think this is a game that you got to make your emphasis on to get to where you want to get to, and really have people give you the respect. And people haven't really talked about Ole Miss a lot the past couple of weeks, but this is a game where you can beat up on a team that's going to come with, I think, one of the best fronts in the SEC. Their defensive front is going to be ready to play. They're going to be explosive. They're going to be mean, tough, but it's only going to last maybe the first quarter. So to me, I think from the second quarter to the end of the game, Ole Miss is going to blow this one out the water. I got Ole Miss winning this one by at least, like you said, 2 touchdowns, possibly 3. My game plan is going to be 30-17. Ole Miss wins this one.
And look, and don't forget now, Lane Kiffin the game. Okay, wow. Late in the season, but this is not the one. This is not the one. Ole Miss, go ahead and take it.
Yeah, moving on to our next one. We got Tennessee at home taking on UConn. This is definitely a get-right game for Tennessee before you kind of head down this stretch going to Missouri, and then you got Georgia after that. Get this game over with fast. You try in every way possible for Tennessee to have a complete game from beginning to end. Go ahead and get your starters out so that way you can get the score up, get your starters out so that way they can get some rest, because you got a gauntlet you're getting ready to run through to salvage this season. And sitting at 17 and in the latest rankings is a good spot for Tennessee, but they still got a lot of room to grow and a lot still in front of them to play for. But this game won't be any challenge for them. They'll go and knock this game out early, and that'll be it for the.
Yeah, the only thing Tennessee needs to hope for is that they stay healthy through this game. That's it. This is going to be an easy game. Game should be over by midway through the second quarter. Backup quarterback needs to be able to get some work. Everybody, second string should be in at the end of the second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Everybody into the bench, let everybody play. Tennessee, huge in this game. But if not, if for some reason UConn scores a point, I've lost respect for Josh Heupel. They shouldn't score not 1 point in this game. Not where Tennessee's sitting right now. Tennessee huge.
I'm right there with both of you. I think this game is going to be interesting, but I think I want Tennessee's offense to play at least 3 quarters. I understand you want to stay healthy in this game right here, but for the next couple of weeks for Tennessee, your whole season's on the line on what y'all can get to with Georgia and Missouri coming up. So to me, I think that you really got to build momentum in this game. And for what I've seen in the past couple of weeks for Tennessee, with playing Alabama and then playing Kentucky last week, was they're looking for the run game to really get Joe Milton going and get that offense going. So I want to see the run game pop in this game, but I want to see Joe Milton really have his breakout moment. I'm really looking for that moment where you can get that 300, 350, 4-touchdown game. You're not going to have a better opportunity before the end of the year until this game right here. So Tennessee should win this game by at least 4 to 5 touchdowns. My prediction is going to be 45-10. I'm going to go against you, Sean. I hope they score a little bit just to give Tennessee some motivation on what they should be doing. But I got Tennessee winning this one big. It should be no problems for them. But we're going to see how this looks heading into the next 2 weeks for Tennessee.
That's what's up.
Yep. Next up, we got Florida, another new game at home taking on Arkansas. I think Arkansas has kind of thrown in the towel at this point in time. They're not looking like a good football team, and everything there is kind of falling apart. Just got rid of their offensive coordinator in the middle of the season. Whenever you see stuff like that going on, it's kind of like it's a fire going on right now and there. Now, on the Florida side of it, how does Florida respond after getting drugged by Georgia last week and at the cocktail party? But while saying that, I think they do get it back today. I mean, on Saturday. I think Florida gets the win against Arkansas, being that it is at home. But I'll have this down as Florida's last win of the season, being that they got to go to LSU, to Missouri, and then taking on Florida State to end their season. This is the last win they're gonna get. After this, the wheels fall off and they go on into the postseason.
Man, so coincidentally, I was watching the film of the Arkansas LSU game, which happened, I think, in week 3, I guess. Arkansas is a very, very puzzling team to me. They look really good in moments. They look really good in moments in most of the games that they play. I've been on here talking about Sam Pittman and how much I like him as a coach, and I still do, but there's something missing. There's something missing. Arkansas they are not going to go 0-8 in the SEC this year. It's not going to happen. I think they get it done here against Florida. Florida has, while they, just got drugged, they just don't have enough, man. Graham Mertz is a good quarterback. When he's talked about passes that are thrown from the line of scrimmage to about 15 yards, he throws a slant better than most. But he lacks so many other intangibles. I don't think Florida gets it done this weekend. I'm going to go with Arkansas in a close one, 26-20 Arkansas to get their first win in the SEC on the road. They need it bad.
They do need it bad. But at the end of the day, I'm on the opposite side of this thing. I actually want to see Arkansas go defeated in the SEC just for the purposes of if you were gonna get your win, it should have been before now. And I know Arkansas's rest of the season is can be up and down depending on how you look at it between Auburn, FIU, and Missouri, but I don't know. I've given them enough chances to get their first win. And I don't see it happening this weekend right here being at Florida. I think if this was a home game for Arkansas, it would be a totally different story. And I might be able to root for them a little bit. But I have this one being an average SEC game. I got Florida pulling it out by a touchdown. And I got 24-17 in favor of Florida. But to me, I don't know. I thought Arkansas was going to be a way better team than what they showed us. And I think they've showed us enough to show us that they're not going to be having enough to get it done. So I got Florida winning by a touchdown.
That's fair.
All right, in our last noon game, you got South Carolina at home taking on Jacksonville State. Big win for South Carolina coming up this Saturday, being back at home. I think it's huge for this program right now that they're the only FBS team that will finish their season with 4 straight home games, which for this South Carolina is huge. I was looking at some of the numbers for South Carolina. You go from averaging over 30 points per game at home versus on the road, you're in the teens. And that's a huge disparity right there, even on itself. Use this game to try to figure out what combination on the O-line. This is the 9th straight game they've had. They will have a different combination on the O-line. That's the biggest issue that happened in the Texas A&M game, because you started out that game very strong. Defense finally showed up in that game. The special teams and offense put Texas in a great position in that second quarter, which is how they rattled off those 21 points straight. But after that, the defense played lights out. You give up only 3 points in the third quarter and then 6 points in the fourth quarter. You finally got your stable right combination on the defensive side of the ball. That being good, and then offense getting back to playing how they normally do at home, is a great recipe for South Carolina to try to win out the rest of this season and get to a bowl game, which is very much still in play right now with you got Jacksonville State, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, who does not look good offensively, and then a crumbling Clemson team at home at the end of the season, which will probably be for a bowl game for either one of those teams. But we'll get to that one when we get to it. But use this game, get some confidence. You finally got Legette's banged up, but Nick Harbor, the freshman freak athlete, is finally coming along. He started last week at A&M, had a bunch of big catches. Look for that to continue to grow. He's listed as a starter again this week. Mario Anderson at the running back position is playing great right now. Get Spencer back confidence. Get this game done early. Use the crowd, feed off the crowd, get your momentum rolling so you can go finish out this year on a high note.
So Jacksonville State, man, let's talk about them for a second. I went to school there. This was back in 1992. They won the Division II national championship then. Jacksonville State has a very good program, and they've had a very good program for many, many, many years. It's a very small school, kind of sandwiched in between Birmingham and Atlanta, right? Stadium probably seats 20, 25,000 people. Not much really going on there, but they know how to play football down there, okay? They're sitting in second place behind Liberty in Conference USA, which they just joined. They just made a big jump from a very small conference into Conference USA. Conference USA went out and grabbed them because they know they play football down there. Now, with that being said, Carolina has no business losing this game. But every year, a school like a James Madison or App State or something like that comes up and they bite a SEC or a Big Ten school. I'm saying it could happen if Carolina does not play with the intensity that they need to play with. Jacksonville State will snap up here and bite them. And I'm sure Shane Beamer is telling them this as we speak. Now, I'm predicting Carolina going to win this game. Carolina should win this game big. What I'm saying is, don't be surprised if Jacksonville State don't make this close for a long time. All right? That's it. That's all I got. It could be close.
I get what you're saying right there, Sean. I know there's always that one a year. And I think that South Carolina is in jeopardy of that happening just because of, the season has not panned out the way they wanted to. South Carolina right now, as we speak, November 1st, has 2 wins, 6 losses. I know nobody in Columbia, South Carolina thought this would be happening. I probably thought nobody in SEC really thought that this would pan out for them. But if you got anything to fight for, like Van said, bowl season is coming right around the corner. You got a chance to really put together an end of the season stretch, kind of like you did last year, to really salvage this season, and you can salvage it. So I think Beamer's going to have this team very, very focused. I think they're going to be on a kill mentality. What I want to see from Carolina is that first quarter production and intensity that they played against Texas A&M with. And I watched that first quarter. I was like, okay, cool. This game not going to be in favor of Texas A&M at home. But South Carolina eventually showed up how they usually show up in games, and they kind of fell off in the most important moments. To me, I got South Carolina winning this one big. I think the home crowd is going to have to play a huge pivotal role in this game and getting that motivation to where it needs to be to continue it for 4 quarters. But I got a 48-10 win in favor of South Carolina. That's going to give them the motivation and give them more momentum to finish off the season strong. So 4 home games in a row for South Carolina is the perfect scenario to finish this season off on a high note. Get it done, South Carolina. Let's finish the season strong.
I want to see it happen.
Next, we got at 4:00, we got Vandy at home taking on Auburn. I'll go ahead and say it now. I got Auburn winning this one handedly to get their second conference win and send Vanderbilt to be 0-6 in the conference. I had Vandy at the beginning of the season winning 3 games, and they threw that away when they lost to UNLV. So after that, I had them losing every single game after that. So that's going to continue this week. You know what? Auburn showed me they impressed me last week against that game against Mississippi State. At least getting up to 27 points scoring. Very impressed with how they the fight. And a lot of that was just being at home, feeding off of their crowd at home, not realizing that, hey, your season's not done yet. You have 4 wins. Everybody's sitting at this 4-win stretch right now. Where you can finish out this finish out this season. You need two more to get to a bowl game in year 1 with Hugh Freeze. I think that's huge for them. I think they're using that as a giant recruiting tool right now. And I do think it is possible for them to get 2 out of these next 4 games. But yeah, I got Auburn winning this one big. Vanderbilt don't stand a chance. They'll be Vanderbilt, and they'll get out of here this with an easy win.
Yeah, I agree with you 1,000%. Man, listen, Vanderbilt's going to do Vanderbilt. I do think that Hugh Freeze, he found a lot in the game against Mississippi State. Not only was it their first SEC win, he finally got things put together. And I think Peyton Thorne finally had a decent game under center. They used Robbie Ashford when they needed to use Robbie Ashford. The defense played well enough. Vanderbilt's just not that good, y'all. They're just not that good. I can't give Auburn a ton of credit for beating Mississippi State. I'm glad they got the win for Hugh Freeze, but Vanderbilt's just not that good, y'all. I got Auburn by 17 points here. Unfortunately, Vanderbilt, they may end up without an SEC win. Matter of fact, they're going to end up without an SEC win for the entire season. Auburn's going to springboard here. They'll win the next game or so until they have to play Alabama, and they'll get kind of knocked back down to earth a little bit. But for all intents and purposes, Week 10, Auburn, congratulations. You got you another W.
I'm right there with both of you. I think Auburn is going to win this one. I got to win it by 10, 24-14. But to me, this is going to be one of the most unimpressive SEC games we're going to see all year. So for this game, I'm not even going to spend too much time on it. I think Auburn has found their formula to beat a team like Vandy, but it's not a good enough formula to beat big-time teams in the SEC. So to me, Vandy is just the type of team that just allow it back and take it. Even being at home, I don't see that being much of a difference. I got them having some happy moments. I got to get into end zone twice. So Vandy fans, there you go, your early Christmas present right there, scoring 2 touchdowns against Auburn. But to me, Auburn's going to take this one easily, 24-14.
All right, moving on to one of the night games. We got Mississippi State at home taking on Kentucky. To me, it's a weird game to me. The matchup for ESPN is saying Mississippi State's matched up well against them, even though going into this, Kentucky's a 3-point favorite. I think part of that is just being Kentucky on the road. What will they look like? Especially coming off of that loss to Tennessee. It's kind of like, what more are you really having to play for? If you're Kentucky, you need one more win to get to a bowl game for this season, but it's kind of like the wheels are just falling off for Kentucky after starting off so strong. How much does Devin Leary still have in his tank? You still got Davis, who's running the ball really well for them. I got to go. I'm going to go with Kentucky to win this one. But I do think it'll be closer. It just seems to me kind of like Mississippi State is kind of thrown in the towel. Just the way that they performed against Auburn. They didn't look good, didn't look motivated, kind of like, hey, we're out here, let's finish the season, get it over with type of mentality. And with that being said, I gotta take Kentucky in this
one. Man, why do they pay these coaches all this money to just airmail it in, man? Listen, if you're the coach at Mississippi State, you have an opportunity right now to beat Kentucky, right? Yeah. I don't think they're that good. Right? If anything, if anything, Kentucky fighting for a bowl is completely against everything that their administration and the chancellors want. Kentucky should be competing for the East, not even just trying to get to a bowl game. I'm losing some faith in Mark Stoops and what he can bring to the table as the coach of Kentucky, because he does the same thing every dead-gum year at the same time every dead-gum year. He's going to win this game. Mississippi State, please make it close. Please make it close. 7 point. Kentucky win 24-17. But it's going to be one of the ugliest games that we've seen all season in the SEC. It's almost embarrassing. Can we please move on?
I'm right there with you. I ain't even gonna spend that much time on this right here, Sean. I got Kentucky winning this one, edging it out by 6 points, 27-21. But my biggest point about Kentucky is against Georgia a few weeks ago, y'all proved to the whole country that you are who we thought you were. And since then, you've been tumbling down the hill, can't stop yourself. So this is an opportunity to stop yourself from tumbling down that hill. Please save your season and actually salvage something, because if you don't get this win right here, it's going to be tough the next couple of weeks for you. And I think that Kentucky understands that, and I think they're going to have themselves focused. I really thought they were going to have the edge against Tennessee watching that game as close as I did. But to me, like I said, when the moment counts the most, Kentucky drops the ball, literally. So in that aspect, I got them winning this game to get out there losing streak 27-21.